past the rainbow caverns and even further into the mountain. Past the rainbow caverns and even further into the mountain. Once we put the ROV away. So this is just a trial through the load. Oh, and here's one of our sleepers for the rails. You can see, specially made for these bar rails, they just slot the end of them into this tapered slot here. Another one here, this end's broken off somewhere. They'd put the bars in there and then they'd hammer a little wedge or something in there to keep them solid, and then there's your sleeper. Sets 2-foot gauge. Yeah, very nice. I just found a nice sleeper up here. Have a look at this, with the tapered slots for the rails. Lovely.
It was a long drive from home and a fair walk to here, but it was well worth it.
It was, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
A proper scramble to try and find as well, but that was well worth it. And what's better, we've got even more level to go.
Oh yes, we have.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
do that now.
lead the way.
On the total.
Yeah. I love the tramway.
Yes. Really good.
Bit of angle iron, yeah?
It's a really twisty tramway, isn't it?
Yeah. And all the copper seems to have gone, but they had ventilation pipes in here, because they've got the brackets here on the wall for them. Very small 4-inch ventilation pipe, probably galvanised ventilation pipe brackets.
There's a collapse.
Gone off this way. This looks like the remains of a teapot. There's a spout. A spout right there.
Ventilation pipe, yeah.
Oh, is there? Oh, is it 4 inches by any chance?
About that, yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There's a spike.
Yeah. Found the remains of a teapot back there.
Oh wow. I didn't spot that.
Not much left of it, but there was another sleeper, like a log sleeper with another tapered slot in it. And then here, see the spouts? Remains of a teapot.
You see it's down here then, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully more cool colours.
Hopefully.
Look at this.
Oh yeah, like an iron curtain.
Amazing. It's kind of misty in here.
Yeah, it is a bit. I've always got a thing for railways, but I particularly like this one. These primitive sort of tramways have always, I found these very interesting, and how it's got that slight green coppery tint of colour in the water in between the tracks. Small alcove here.
Some more amazing copper colours.
Oh really? Oh yeah, so there are. Yeah, darker these, aren't they?
Very good.
So there's the load, and they've gone off it. You can see the load going off there. There it is. So this is all the width of the load. If you see this rock here, this is quite barren and colourless. But if we move over here, you see how this is all smashed up, and it has little courses and stringers of quartz in it, little bits of iron, some sulphur. This is the load. This is load stuff. And the copper vein forms what appears to be one wall of the load, the southern wall of the load. It's quite well slick-and-sided. See these patterns here, rubbing surfaces. So we've got a course of copper on one wall of the load, and the rest is largely barren, but disturbed. So it's quite a nice big load, but the adit kind of veers off in another direction here.
Unfortunately, this is the end, but I found something really cool here.
All right.
A big blob of stemming.
Ah.
It has the finger marks in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
So this is very soft, clay-like.
And it's got this massive big fingerprint, right, a thumbprint right in the middle.
Thumbprint. I think it is a thumbprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squidge right in there.
Yeah, how about that?
Wow, that's nice. So this would have been the last lump of stemming for the candles, and then there's the forehead.
Yep.
And I don't see any load stuff in the forehead. I don't know if you could hear me monologuing back there, but there was the adit actually left the load. It veers off the load, and there is some iron and stuff up here, but it's not as good as what they meandered off. I don't know. All I can imagine was that they were following another course which appeared more promising to them. Because of course all of that green copper staining wouldn't have been visible when it was fresh.
No.
So maybe that load didn't look so good at the time.
This is finding things.
Oh yeah?
You found anything?
That's always half a mile behind you.
Yeah.
You haven't found any candles yet?
No.
You need to get your act together.
That's the next best thing. Yes, there's some here too. There's a big lump here with a thumbprint in it.
And as always, I've only found it on one side.
That's it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go, nice.
Back here.
There goes the shot holes again.
That's the end of the level.
Oh,
So the telltale sign, of course, being the big pile of backfill on the floor, the last load.
they didn't bother taking it out.
Didn't bother taking it out.
Let's go back and look at the copper.
Yeah.
The remains of...
So that is a flat plate for shoveling off of. So when the stuff is broken,
yes.
it's much easier to scrape and shovel off that, other than the rubbly floor, the level. So they would have parked the wagon up here. Can we see the end of the
Is that
tramway?
sulphur at the back there, like yellowy?
I think it is.
Yellowy,
Yeah.
early.
Could be, but a mixture of copper and sulphur, actually. Yeah, it's a bit of copper as well, actually.
And look at this big blob of sticking there. Isn't
Now then, you can see what's happened. Remember we were saying they've just meandered off the load back there? Well, they've gone back into it again.
Just had another little look here and
Yeah, and there it is. They've broken back into it again. So they've meandered off the load back there, and then cross-cut off to the right, and then they've just cut back into it. Ah. Because if we reverse out of here, and then go back round the corner, there we go, we're back on it again.
Doing the same again.
Yeah, you can see it up there. Ah. Interesting. And the rails...
The rails are amazing.
They are. They seem to end just about here, don't they?
Well, this looks like it's the point at which they sort of started to realise we're not going any further. I suppose.
And that's where the flat plates are, so they load those at the railhead, they push the wagon to the end of the tramway, load on the flat plates, and then bail it in here.
Yeah, random.
I think that is, for some reason, in place of a ventilation pipe brackets, because we saw them back there.
Yes.
So if they ran out and they wanted a quick...
Just feed it over the top.
Wedge a piece of wood across there, yeah. I reckon, anyway.
That makes sense.
But it's very, the rock is very porous here as well, lots of drip, so it might be something to keep the water off the miners' heads, maybe.
Lots of sticking all on the side, bit there, bit there.
Oh yeah. Various blobs of sticking.
Yeah, and one there. Well, that's probably a candle one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that looks like a candle, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And very nice triangular shot holes as well in this mine.
They're very obvious, aren't they?
Yeah. So if the shaft was, the winds was the last thing that the miners did in 1870, then we can assume that this level dates from around this would have been driven in the late 1860s, just before, you know, they abandoned this and thought, right, okay, we'll try the winds, and then if that doesn't work, then that's it. So, yeah, so it seems like the only copper that was actually mined from here was in that little stoped area near the pump.
I know we've got levels above us.
Yeah, and levels above.
So you can see, can't you, there's if you look up the shaft.
Yes, you can see them, yeah. I don't think it pointed the camera up there. We'll have a look on the way out. Because yeah, right above the pump, there was a rise going up into the next level.